Okay, looks like I've finally started the stream. It's working now. Let's test the audio. Alright guys, it took a while to get the stream going for some reason on YouTube. I'm not sure what was happening with that. I mean, sometimes my connection can be a little bit foggy, so you never know. Okay, so I know that I talked about next week I'd be back, but I say, you know what? Let me get another Madden 24 New York Giants rebuild going. So for this stream, I'm probably going to go a little bit untraditional. I'm probably not going to go and do the off season after I complete the 2024 season, but I'm definitely going to do the 2024 season. And this time there will be some gameplay, whether we make the playoffs or not, because this will be the first rebuilt roster for this particular season. So let's check out the roster, shall we? Now, there may be a little bit of a quarterback controversy, and it mainly has to do with overall ratings. It's not necessarily what they've done. Now, Daniel Jones actually had a surprisingly decent season leading us back to the playoffs for last year. I mean, he's led us to the playoffs 2 consecutive years. The previous year, you know, they beat the Vikings, but this past year that we actually went to Lambeau Field to play the Packers in the wild card, and we lost. So we regressed. That's why we drafted Quinn Ewers in the first round. And this might be a little bit controversial, but I say, you know what? In case Daniel Jones slips up a little bit, we got a quarterback in here to put the pressure on him. We do still have Tommy DeVito. I decided to re-sign him so that we have some quarterback insurance because we decided to let Tyrod Taylor actually retired, so we brought in DeVito. We still have Saquon. I gave him a new contract, and, you know, I'll show you another free agency signing that we had. We actually spent a decent amount of money in free agency this offseason, which unfortunately means that we don't have any salary cap room right now. We don't really have any money to make any big moves during the season at the trade deadline or anything like that. So pretty much the roster that we have is what we're going to be going with, unless we have a major significant injury, at which point we may be able to sign somebody, but I don't know. Fortunately, we have depth at more positions, so we should be good there. But we have Saquon, we have Eric Gray backing him up, we have Jashawn Corbin still here, and Deion Jackson is still here. Our fullback is Alex Armont Jr. We literally just picked him up off the streets of free agency. We actually picked him and a couple of offensive linemen off the streets of free agency because we needed to fill out the roster with depth at the offensive line. Receivers, Curtis Samuel is now our new #1 receiver at 82 overall. Darius Slayton, you know, we fluctuated between the high 70s and the 80s. So Curtis Samuel is a free agent acquisition. It's going to be our new #1 receiver, scheme fit guy as well. So I like him. We still have Robinson going into his into his next season. He's a young receiver who's got promise. We also still have Jalen Hyatt, of course, and we drafted Jalen McMillan out of Washington. I believe in the second round. So he's going to be our rookie receiver. Darren Waller is our starting tight end still, and we have Daniel Bellinger. I wanted to go out and possibly get another tight end for depth, but we have like no cap room to spend, even like $1 million. So money's pretty tight right now. We still have Andrew Thomas, 90 overall left tackle, only 25 years old, but we also drafted Jack Nelson to back him up out of Wisconsin. Left guard, we actually signed A.J. Kane in free agency. In the second wave before the season, so basically after the draft we signed him, 74 overall left guard, and of course we brought back Justin Pugh, but you know Kane is 74, so the reps are probably going to go to him. John Michael Schmitz Jr. is still our starting center, 74 overall. We did sign Justin Britt because we needed another center. Right guard, Mark Glowinski is still here. We drafted Javontes Spraggins, a rookie out of Tennessee, to back him up. Evan Neal is still our starting right tackle, 76 overall, and Izudu is going to back him up. We actually moved him from left tackle to right tackle. Tyquan Lewis is one of our new free agent acquisitions, 75 overall left end. We didn't have any left ends. We let them all hit the open market because I felt like I could do upgrades there anyway, so I decided to sign him. And we drafted John Morgan III out of Arkansas. That's the big one. Chase Young. Now, here's one thing that I actually need to do. So I actually need to change his number because I did some research online, and the New York Giants do apparently have retired numbers. And 92 is a retired number that was last worn by Michael Strahan. So I'm going to put Chase Young back in number 99, the same number that he was wearing when he was with the Washington Commanders when he first got drafted there. So I'm going to do that. I thought about giving him number 2, but I decided not to. Number 1 actually is a retired number, but I figured, you know what, let's just have Jordan Burch wear it. Just go with that. He actually wore number 6 in college, but I'm going to do that. So I changed Chase Young. He's going to wear number 99, but he's the big upgrade that we had at right end. Now, we had to pay a lot to go get him. You can see the cap penalties at $59.5 million. That should give you an indication as to how much money that we spent to go get him. But defensive end was a position that we needed. 88 overall, might have been overpaying, but if he gets into the 90s this season, the money will be worth it. And he's not a scheme fit guy, but I decided to go with him. We also have Dexter Lawrence here, so our defensive line got some decent upgrades this offseason. So hopefully that position group is going to be a little bit better. We still have Ojulari, scheme fit guy, left outside linebacker at 76. We really couldn't do much better than him this offseason in free agency, although we did get Zach Bond, but we needed depth, so we got him in here. Middle linebacker Okuri, 88 overall, is actually getting a little bit better, so that's good. I did decide to go ahead and sign Jordan Hicks. I'm actually going to change his number from number 10 to like something in the 50s because we needed another middle linebacker. We didn't have one, so I went with the best available guy who also fit our scheme. Because, we had to hire a new defensive coordinator because our last one got plucked up by somebody else. So I had to go with a new defensive coordinator, and his scheme is a little bit slightly different. So I had to get players that really fit the scheme more so than guys that are just higher overalls. But Chase Young, when you see a Chase Young, in my opinion, out there that's as young and as highly rated as he already is, he's somebody that you just have to plunge for. And I decided to do that. Thibodeau is 81 overall, right outside linebacker. I moved Boogie Basham over there. He was originally, I think, in middle linebacker, but I moved him over for depth reasons. Dory Jackson, we signed to a big new contract during the season last year, so he's 7 overall, our best corner. We really couldn't feel like do much better than him in this offseason free agency, so I'm glad I decided to give him the money. We also still have Banks. We have Flott. We did get Sidney Jones because I did need a 4th corner. So he's the only really new corner on the roster. Trey Hawkins. And Cam Hart is a guy that we drafted as well out of Notre Dame. 66 overall. Obviously still needs a lot of development there. Free safety, we brought Xavier McKinley back, 86 overall. We also have Jason Pinnock, who actually made the Pro Bowl last year, 76 overall, strong safety. We have Belton, and we have Trey Dean, the third. And Owens is still backing him up. Kicker, Graham Gano, and Gillian. So we haven't really changed anything else. The quarterback battle is the biggest thing that I'm going to be watching for during the season. If we don't start out really hot and we start losing games at the beginning of the season, it may be risky, but I'm going to plug in Quinn Ewers, the rookie quarterback, and see what he can do if things get off to a tough start. Hopefully, Ewers gets plenty of reps in the preseason. I have to imagine that he will, based on what Madden does with taking the starters out after the first quarter usually and putting in the backups to play the rest of the game. We won our first preseason game against the Dolphins, so that's pretty good. Hopefully Ewers got some decent amount of playing time, and hopefully this preseason he looks pretty solid. I'll look at his preseason stats and as well as Daniel Jones' stats at the end of this and see kind of where we stand. But I'm probably actually going to simulate just through the first 2 weeks of the preseason and see where it's at, because I feel like after I simulate after preseason week 3, all the stats from the preseason will go away. So we actually lost our next preseason game, so we're 1-1. So let me see if I can take a look at statistics for us and see as far as preseason where we are at. So looking at that initial screen, Ewers is leading us in preseason in passing, but that's really only because he's gotten, of course, more playing time than Daniel Jones, because he's come in as the starter and Ewers is the backup. But in 2 games, he's thrown for 370 yards. That's not bad. He's thrown 2 TDs, but he's also thrown 3 picks. Daniel Jones has thrown 2 interceptions to no touchdowns. So, I mean, as far as, if we're going to be doing a battle between these guys, I lean towards Ewers. DeVito hasn't gotten any playing time, but that's not surprising. Right now, Ewers is looking better in terms of preseason play, but at the same time, those 3 interceptions in just 2 preseason games, not really looking very promising in terms of confidence to just all of a sudden hitch the wagon up to him as opposed to Daniel Jones, who has the experience, and just say, hey, go win it for us. But we'll see, because during the season we could start out like 2-5, and that'll definitely give me an indication that, you know what, let's try Quinn Ewers and see what he can do. So we lost our last preseason game. I don't know if I can take a look at stats. Let me see if I can. Actually, I can. Okay, so it's not going to let me. So it's going to let me view stats from the whole preseason. So, of course, Daniel Jones got more playing time in preseason week 3 because that was basically our dress rehearsal game. And he has fewer passing yards than yours, but he did throw 2 touchdowns in that game because he had 0 the last time I looked. But he threw another interception. So the quarterback situation is kind of looking a little bit even right now. I would only give the edge slightly because yours is thrown for more yards, but the ratings are better for Jones. So as far as preseason play between the two, it's really looking kind of fairly even, but even in a way that doesn't really ensue confidence in the offense. But that's the reason why I decided to bring that. But that's the reason I decided that I had to bring back Saquon Barkley, 93 overall running back, because if we put in Ewers during the season, then it's going to help to have one of the top 5 running backs in the league behind him to feel like that. Hey, I'm not out here by myself trying to win every game. That's really why I felt like, kind of like with the Derrick Henry situation, with the Titans rebuild that I did, when you got a top 5 running back, when you start a rebuild, keep him, because you never know when you might just want to say, you know what, I want to rely on him to carry the load until this quarterback gets acclimated. All right, time to choose our draft class. Let's go ahead and import a local file. Let's go ahead and get the 2025 draft. Let's go ahead and get those guys. Yeah, okay, so we got the draft in here. We got Drew Allar, we got Alexander, Will Campbell, Will Johnson, Bear Alexander, Marvin Jones Jr., Kate Klubnik. Yeah, this is everybody. That's all the typical cast of characters that we need for the 2025 draft. All right, so we're close to getting to the start of the regular season. We already have 4 players ready to negotiate, but it's got to be those 4 players that we already signed during that we signed before the preseason began. So this is where we're starting for week 1. Okay, so here we go. Depth charts aligned. We're going to rock with Daniel Jones for the first half of the season for sure, but let's simulate to the middle of the season and see where we're at. As far as my expectations, we actually exceeded my expectations last year, so I'm expecting the same in terms of this team, but for it to actually be slightly better due to the fact that we added a guy like Chase Young, and Daniel Jones is coming off of a season where he did very well, because at least when I was simulating and looking at it week by week, there were 2 times when Jones was the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. So that definitely showed that Jones was playing better than I expected. I still don't think 100% he's the answer, because if he can't really go higher than what he is at a 72 overall for a quarterback, even if it is a quarterback that leads us to the playoffs, he may not be able to do more than that. And I want to see what the ceiling is for Quinn Ewers, because who knows, maybe Ewers develops quicker if I give him the reps, maybe this season or the next year, depending on what I want to do. But first things first, let's see how we're doing to start off the 2024 season. I know I keep sounding like I'm trying to push Daniel Jones out the door, but I'm just trying to get the Giants to winning a Super Bowl again. That's the purpose of all these rebuilds that I do. And if I got to go get a better quarterback than Daniel Jones, I got to go get a better quarterback than him. If that's what it takes, then that's what I'm going to do. I had to do that with the Jets. I had to trade for Dak Prescott to win it all. Well, we started off okay. We're 3-3. Let's go ahead and see what Jones's stats are looking like in terms of quarterback play. Was already thrown for over 1,700 yards. Okay, it looks like that yours hasn't gotten any playing time because Jones has stayed healthy, so that's good. Because if we have an injury to him, then that changes a lot of things. 12 touchdowns, only 7 picks at the midpoint of the season. All right, well that's not bad. That's not bad, considering that being 500. That's pretty much where we were last year. But after we were at like 4-3 last year at this point. We actually went on a big winning streak. Like, seriously, I think we won like 5 games or something in a row last season. Really catapulted ourselves to remaining at 3rd place in the division. Eventually, we overtook the Cowboys, and we made the playoffs. Like, last year, the NFC East was absolutely stacked. The Eagles, Cowboys, and the Giants all made the playoffs. So, the Eagles, were the best team in the NFL, and they won the Super Bowl the first year of the rebuild. So, we're chasing those guys. So let's go ahead and upgrade players. And looks like yours is getting upgraded. So he's already up to a 71. So He's gotten a little bit of development, I guess, through the way, in terms of practice reps and whatnot. All right. So we're 3-3 right now. We are locked really with the rest of the division. So everything is pretty wide open right now in terms of division race. But we do have a matchup against the 4-3 Steelers this next week. But first, let's take a look and see who's ready to negotiate contracts. We can only do 7 negotiations right now. Jordan Hicks is a stopgap guy right now, so I'm not really going to be looking to invest in him. And the same deal with Kane and Justin Britt. And same thing with Amaya. Arma Jr. These are guys that we brought in as stopgap guys, so I'm not really looking to invest in them too much. Slayton and Pinnock. These are guys that I'm interested in, but I don't know how interested, if you know what I mean. Because right now we only have $14 million in cap room. That's not a lot because Chase Young is eating up so much of it. So some of these guys, we're going to have to do probably a lot of building through the draft. I might have ruined maybe the next couple of years with the Chase Young deal. And, we did give Saquon Barkley and Adoree Jackson big contracts this offseason as well. So that may hinder our ability to sign new free agents or really do too much. So, maybe Pinnock is just going to be a guy that we have to let walk. And only really like Lewis and Ojari fit our scheme. So I think I may look to bring Ojari back because he fits the scheme. We're going to have to just probably get a new right guard. And Sidney Jones is a 1-year rental. I mean, I'd like to bring him back for depth, but I don't think I can. Fortunately, we don't have a whole lot of players we need to negotiate contracts with in terms of that. Well, if we let... our middle linebacker situation is okay. So we can afford to let maybe Jordan Hicks walk. I'm not too worried about that. He may retire. He's getting up there in age, so he may retire after this season. I'm not really sure. All right, well, let's come back to negotiating with players later, and let's move on to this next game against the Steelers. 3-3. We're at the halfway point of the year. We're at 500. Let's see if Daniel Jones is going to be able to lead us to success for the second year of this rebuild, or if we got to give Quinn Ewers a chance to play. Well, we beat the Steelers in pretty decent, convincing fashion, so we're doing pretty good right now. Let's see what Coachman has to say. You've got an opponent you expect us to win. Okay, so because we're playing the Commanders this week. Well, the Commanders have improved already based on last season because last year I think those guys only won 2 games. They were probably one of the worst teams in the league. And their best player is Josh Allen, who's the former Jaguar. So so he's their big free agent acquisition from this offseason. We're second place in the division, right behind the Eagles only by 1 game. Commanders are 4-4. Cowboys are 3-4, so they faltered a little bit. So big game against Washington, one of our arch rivals. Got to get a win. Stay kind of afloat at second place in the division because it looks like once again the Eagles are the top dogs and we're going to be chasing them all season. And once again we get another big NFC East win to get to 5-3. So this is pretty much where we were last year, so it's really kind of a rinse and repeat. Make the playoffs and I know we can get there. Yeah, I mean based on last season and the fact that we're having a very similar year, that's what I expect. So kind of increasing those expectations. But this is a big game for us. If we beat the Eagles this week, we can actually get to first place in the division. So this is kind of one of those games in the history of the rebuild that really could kind of set the tone for the second year to really determine if we're at the same level that the division rival who won the Super Bowl is. This is a pretty big game for us in terms of the second year of the rebuild. See if we can beat Philly. And we lost by 42 points. That's not good. Doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence that if we see these guys in the future that we'll beat them. So not looking too bright, But hey, we're not gonna adjust anything right now. We're gonna keep stuff the same. 5-4. We're still at second in our division, so we're still in probably a decent spot to still make the playoffs. We just may have to just do it as a wild card team once again for the second year in a row, but I'll take it. And we got another quick turnaround matchup against Washington. So we have 4 straight division games. We got Philly next week too. Wow. They stacked the schedule really weird. I don't think that in real life the NFL would do this, but I could be wrong. And unfortunately, the Commanders get their revenge on us. So we've lost back-to-back games for the first time in a while. So, yeah, but we've had a pretty tough schedule. You know, we have to play Philly once again. So this is a stretch that could kind of make or break us. You know, we've already slipped to third in the division right now. We may be on the outside of the playoffs looking in if we don't get our you-know-what together. So we lost the Eagles the first time. Do we get revenge on them and get to 1-1 at least on the season, or do we lose for the third consecutive week? Not an easy schedule, and I just noticed that we also have Baltimore next week, and I assume Lamar Jackson is still there. And we beat the Eagles! We get a 14-point win, so we got revenge. Nice. Big game that we needed. We're still at third, and the Commanders are 7-5, so they've got a little bit of a winning streak. Who's the injured player? Hopefully it's not anybody too significant. Thibodeau is out for 5 weeks with a hamstring tear, or 6 weeks. Not good. And Braun, our backup linebacker, is out for 1 week with a PCL sprain. Wow, but Thibodeau out for 6 weeks, that hurts. I could bring in some extra help, but you know, we have a decent young player in there that can fill in, so I think I'm just going to let that go for 5 weeks. Plus, like I mentioned, we don't have a whole lot of cap space to really do anything as far as wiggle room, so really don't have a lot of room to bring in, you know, a new, you know, veteran player, if you will. Let's check out weekly awards. I guess we had an award winner this week. Thibodeau, so he gets injured, but he also wins NFC Defensive Player of the Week. 5 tackles, 3 sacks. That's Madden's broken logic for you. All right. Well, that win against the Eagles was big. That was a big win for us. It's not going to get any easier, though, because we got the 9-3 Ravens, got to go to Baltimore to play them. We're still sitting at third in the division because the division race is so tight. Because even Dallas, even though they're last in the division, they're 5-6. So they're still like only really like 2 games back from us, figuratively speaking. So pretty tough sledding right here. Let's get to the negotiating screen now, because now we're starting to get to the point where we have like more players, and now we have 17 million to spend. So we're getting a little bit more wiggle room here. You know, Pinnock, let's see if maybe a neutral deal is enough, but I don't know. Length is bringing the offer way down. Okay, so he wants a really long-term kind of deal. So maybe we'll revisit that next week. I could bring back Tyquan Lewis. He was only on a 1-year deal. And we have Chase Young here. We may look to draft a left end to go on the opposite of Chase Young to really get this defensive line fully solidified, because I feel like Lewis was only worth maybe 1 year. He's young, 29 years old, but I don't think I want to invest in a guy that's only 75 overall too long-term. But this guy, Aziz, young guy at 24 years old, I still feel like the upside is really there. That's a long commitment for a guy. Maybe 3 years. Let's see if we can bring this offer down a little bit. I don't know. The team isn't right. The money isn't right. Something has to improve if I'm going to sign. Okay, so he really wants that to be where it is. And now we're only at 3.9 million because, yeah, so we basically can't do like any more negotiations. All right, we'll come back to all of this maybe in a few weeks. See kind of just how the team takes shape. Okay, all right, let's view the playoff picture. Let's see if we're even anywhere in here. We're not. Giants are nowhere to be found. So the way that things are shaping up this year, there is room for 2 NFC East teams to be in the playoffs, but the second team will make it as the 7th seed. First team will be the 4th seed. Okay, so that's kind of the way that the playoffs are shaping up this year in terms of how many division teams can be in there. So, yeah, and we're 3rd in our division behind the Eagles. So let's see if we can beat the Ravens and see if we can kind of keep this winning streak alive, because we're coming off of a pretty big victory against the Eagles. We're fighting for playoff position like us. Will this be an upset win, or will we get blown out? And we got blown out by the Ravens, and now we're sitting at 6-6. Fortunately, we got the 3-9 Saints this week, so hopefully that'll be a little bit of an easier game for us, and we can get back on track after losing a pretty bad game to a team that's going to be definitely in the playoffs. And unfortunately, because of that, we slipped all the way down to 4th in the division. The Cowboys have overtaken us for the 3rd spot. So, even we may be able to have a winning record, but we may not make the playoffs this year. That's what it's shaping up to be. I went through this a lot with the Jets rebuild. The rest of the division was so stacked that we struggled to make the playoffs, multiple years. So yeah. All right. Well, this game against the Saints will be kind of telling. We have troubles against the 3-9 New Orleans Saints team, and that's pretty concerning to me. We're better than them in certain ways, so this should be a win. And we beat the Saints by 6. Nice job. All right. So we took care of business, and now we've got another losing record team, the 4-9 Cleveland Browns. So fortunately, we've gotten 2 pretty easy games the last 2 weeks to kind of get back on track. So that's actually pretty nice. Let's take a look at the negotiating screen again, and let's get back to some of the offers that we were doing. All right, wow. So we got no money. Neutral. Happy to sign. Okay, so we got Pennick. 3.9 million. Okay. All right, so I guess they gave us some wiggle room there. Yeah, I think Pennick bringing back is worth it because I don't know if we're going to be able to find a safety upgrade better than him. And Ojulari, I really want to keep him around. This is a lot to invest in him, but good offer. Glad we got the deal done. Okay, so now we're only at 2.5 million. Just don't know if we're going to be able to do better than him in terms of left outside linebacker. And he's a very young guy. He's only 24 years old, so the upside is there. But Boogie, we're going to have to let him walk. Everybody else is going to have to walk. We can't afford to keep any of these guys. I would like to possibly keep Slayton, but we just don't have the room for him. We don't have the funds. We're going to be pretty much strapped down due to the salary cap that we've invested in all of our really superstar players. So this next offseason could be pretty tough. We may have to kind of rebuild through the draft for this next offseason coming up, depending on how we do this year. And because the division race is so locked, the second, third, and fourth team in the division are all 7-6. But the Eagles are only 1 game ahead of all of the teams at 8-5. So the NFC East could change up a lot within the next few weeks. But first things first, we got to get back to business. We got to take care of business against the Cleveland Browns. We can't afford to drop games at this point of the season and make the playoffs. That can't happen. And that's a bad sign. We lost by 14 points to the 4-9 Cleveland Browns. Not good. And because of that loss, we're firmly implanted as the team bringing up the rear in the division. Looks like yours maybe got some playing time, but I don't know about that. Let's see what happens in this game against the Rams. They have a winning record. They're going to be a playoff team as well. Please don't be another L. We got a pretty tough matchup against the Cowboys also in Week 17. So let's see. Another loss. Wow. Well, I don't think we're going to be a playoff team this year, which is unfortunate. But, you're fighting for playoff positioning right now. With 2 straight losses, do you feel like an opportunity is slipping away? But if we do fail to make the playoffs, big changes to the roster. Big changes. Maybe not like in the offseason too much because of the salary cap of personnel. Okay. So this is where we're gonna get freaky. I just want to take a look at stats really quickly to kind of see where things are at. Daniel Jones has had a pretty good season. So yours has only thrown 1 ball the entire year. Okay. 29 touchdowns, 17 interceptions for Daniel Jones this season. He's playing well. I don't feel like benching him is the right thing to do. I think I'm just going to let him play out this season and see how things, you know. Okay, well, let's just see what happens against this game in Dallas. If he beats the Cowboys and we get some momentum, at least towards the end of the season, then I could possibly, you know, let it slide. But if we drop another doozy of a game, then maybe time to just take a look at Quinn Ewers and just see, because at this point, you know, you got to evaluate for the future, see what can happen. It may be controversial, but that's the way I feel. Because we're stripped down by the salary cap, we're going to have to kind of go with what we have, probably even next season as well. Well, let's see what happens against Dallas. We lost again. We only produced 6 points. Well, this is just strictly to see what we have. Bengals are 9-7. They're playoff bound. We're not. Same overall. Time to put Quinn Ewers in there and see what he can do against the Bengals. I'm excited to get a chance to play with him. This will be his first start of his NFL career. And, you know, like I mentioned, you know, Daniel Jones has played pretty well. I mean, those stats, they kind of tell everything. I mean, he's thrown for over 4,000 yards, 29 TDs, 91.7 passer rating. He's done very well this season. But with us out of the playoffs, you know, we got to evaluate stuff for next season, and I think putting Ewers in there is a decent thing to do. We don't have any significant injuries, I don't think. We shouldn't, but let me see if we do have any injuries going into the final game, because I'm playing this game. Well, Thibodeau is still out for 1 week with a hamstring tear, so I guess he's going to miss the final regular season game. Not having him available during the back half of the season probably has hurt us, but I know it's tough. So let's go ahead and play this final game at home in front of our fans against the Bengals. We're not making the playoffs, despite the fact that we added Chase Young. And for the sake of, and to get a little fancy, do they have those throwback uniforms in here? Let's see, because Madden's like bugs sometimes. It won't show me the jersey. Current, alternate, classic, current color rush. Oh, okay. It does have them. All right, we're going to go with the Color Rush throwback jerseys for this final regular season game against the Bengals. They have everybody like Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, everybody. They're 9-7. We're 7-9. We've also just had a very tough schedule. You know, we had a tough schedule during the second half of the season. We had like 4 division games in a row against the Eagles and Washington. That was a weird decision by the NFL schedule makers to do that. But hey, you know, in Madden, they just put random teams on your schedule and they just schedule division games based on whatever they want to do. So it is what it is. Oh, we got a Sunday night primetime game? All right. All right. Playing on Sunday Night Football. So this is the final game of the whole regular season. What better time for rookie quarterback Quinn Ewers to make his first start as a Giant? Like I mentioned, because we're out of the playoff picture, I just want to see what Ewers can do against the Bengals, a good playoff team. This is going to really be a big test for him. Sunday Night Football. Let's get it. So we're on defense first.
The action with his defense up against a 1st and 10 at the 11.
And the Bengals are already driving the ball on us pretty well right now.
In motion right here, Boyd. There's a
get in there. There we go. Ooh, nice tackle right there by Kendricks. Came right up there up the middle. Nice job.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's
all right,
second
here we
and
go.
11.
Let's go, D. Make a stand here. Sunday Night Football, prime time to show off. Joe Mixon goes nowhere. Nice job by Dexter Lawrence.
Behind the line again. The last 2 plays, each
they're definitely going to pass it here. There's no way they don't throw.
On 3rd and 12.
If they don't, they're dumb.
Now Burrow.
No, they're not.
He'll get this to his tight end.
I mistimed it on that one, but so Jones makes the tackle.
On the pitch and catch, and it'll be 4th down.
They're going to go for the field goal. So bend but don't break on the first defensive drive for the Giants. So that's pretty good.
McPherson's kick is good.
Right.
And the Bengals are on the board first here. It's 3-0.
So here we go. First offensive series, first start for Quinn Ewers in prime time. And it looks like that he's already got us going on a pretty nice drive. We got a first and goal situation here.
And now it's first and
put it in the hands of our running back, Saquon. Overall. There you go, Saquon. There you go, Barkley. All right, got a pretty decent run right there. Carry 17 yards for him so far. See if we can get Quinn Ewers his first NFL touchdown right here. You know what? Let's go with the original play. Smash. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's the end of the quarter. Okay, I thought the play clock expired. All right. You know what? Let's actually just go ahead and go with the run. Let's play it safe here. If we don't get it in, we'll throw the ball.
4-yard line.
Come on,
second and goal. Barkley again.
Barkley into the end zone for the touchdown. Got our first lead of the game. Let's go. Perfect drive executed by Quinn Ewers, getting us down the field in his first NFL start. Future may be promising with him. I'm going with the younger guy who's at the same rating as Daniel Jones. We're not really missing a beat, in my opinion, as far as the look of that drive. Even though Jones has done decent this season, you know, he hasn't played well the last couple of weeks, and with us being out of the playoff picture, you know, evaluating for next season is not a bad idea. And that's what we're doing with Ewers. Oh, tip! Oh, good job. Good deflection by Jones.
Well, this drive, they're 2 for 2 on third down conversions, but they need 7 yards here.
Third down and 7.
Again, it's Burrow.
Gets the screen. Oh my! Don't let Joe. Oh my gosh! We just let him slip into the end zone for the easy touchdown. Wow! They got us with the screen pass, and they got us good. Oh boy. Oh boy. We're back on defense after our offense didn't do anything. Bengals are driving.
We drop in on a first down in the
bigger lead on us. Second quarter, 5 minutes ago.
Throwing now, Burrow on first down. Looking for Chase on the out route. He's got him.
Out route. Chase,
and he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy
almost
of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. Here's second and 3.
We'll go with a little bit of a Mike blitz here. I think they're going to run it. Guess right. We stuck Joe Mixon right there. Nice job. I had a feeling it was a run. Stack the box a little bit on the play.
It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a third down. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Out of the gun, it's Burrow.
Good spin. Get the sack. Let's go. Perfect. Great job, defense. Just what we needed.
Dexter Lawrence gets in there to drop him for a loss of 13 yards, and it's also 4th down now. McPherson's kick is good.
Right. Bengals tack on another field goal, so they're up by 6. I just noticed now that the Bengals aren't wearing their whites, they're wearing their black jerseys. But hey, I mean, if the jerseys look different colors, I guess it doesn't really matter. Hindsight, I should have remembered that.
So here's the situation up.
All right, well, Ewers is put in a little bit of a tough spot here as a rookie. Down by 6 points. We really could use a touchdown here to get the lead before halftime. So this is a pretty good test for him.
Earlier today in the NFL. On play action,
Slayton. Oh, you're wide open. Don't you blow this. Touchdown, Giants. Let's go. Perfect throw by Ewers for the score. Just what we needed. Get the extra point. But it looks like the Bengals are already driving on us to end the first half. Got a third down and 4 here. And they just took that ball and almost went right down the field on our defense.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. He gets this in the hands of Mixon. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. The Bengals going to use the second of their time.
If they don't get too much more, they might just go for the field goal. They have 1 timeout left.
From the red zone now, here's Burrow.
Oh, that could have been a pick if my guy was in better position there.
It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that will bring up second down. Here we go. Burrow looking to pass.
Oh, that should have been a pick. You were right there, man. Put your hands out. Well, I wasn't controlling the computer, so that's probably what happened. CPU I want to do something with Chase Young. He's eating up so much money, he should do something like right now. And he, oh my goodness. Oh, that was a touchdown and he dropped it. He knows it too. That was a touchdown. Their receiver beat Adoree Jackson so bad it wasn't even funny on that. That's a touchdown that he dropped. All right, so the last couple possessions, we've been fortunate to hold him to a field goal, so, you know, not giving up a whole lot, but that's going to do it for the first half. Third quarter goes by pretty quickly. Once again, we're back on defense, and they got a first down in the red zone. Defense, you know,
as this defense can ill afford to go 2 scores down here in the second half.
Make that tackle
taken in by Gesicki. Now the result here, a pickup of 8, leaves them with 2 to go on second down.
You know what? No, let's go with that. Into the third quarter. Okay, good. I dodged a bullet there. I think I switched to the right defense that I wanted in time, but still, I was pretty worried that I was
2 yards left on second down from the 9. Back now here at MetLife Stadium.
Start of the fourth quarter.
Burrow going to throw again.
And Burrow, I don't know where he was throwing that ball.
Missed him, incomplete.
Nowhere. That's
play number 9 set to come here on the drive.
Something tells me they're going to run with Mixon, so I'm going to do a blitz. Oh man, now he's going outside.
From the shotgun, Joe Burrow.
And he beats the blitz, and they get a touchdown.
He's got a man complete. Touchdown.
Higgins.
T. Higgins.
All right. Eagles got a 9-point lead on us now in the fourth quarter, so now we're getting a little bit tight here.
No hesitation in this situation.
4th and 4, we got to go for it.
Late in the game, this offense is staying out there on 4th.
Back up tight end. Bellinger makes the grab for the first down. Clutch throw right there by Eagles. Took what the defense gave him, made the play. All right, almost in the end zone.
This offense, they've got a really nice drive.
We got a first and goal. We got plenty of time left.
They go back to
yet.
the ground now.
Barkley.
And he's able to get
got
it
there.
down
Let's run it one more time so he can get in there.
79 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. So second and goal, and standing by himself in the backfield, Barkley.
Cincinnati.
He's going to get it again.
Barkley, touchdown. Second touchdown of the game for Barkley.
Giant touchdown.
Just eliminated.
Saquon Barkley.
We're only down by 2. We need a stop.
This defense in need of a big stop in a tight game in the fourth quarter. Let's see if they can get that stop they need. To the air again, Burrow.
Oh my goodness, you were right there on but it's Jamar Chase. What do you expect? He had a chance at that ball. He had a chance to deflect that.
They're passing here, Joe Burrow.
Get him, sack him. Wow, we sent the blitz at him. We got them driven way back. That was a big job right there. That was a great job, team. Great job. All right, now we're at the 2-minute warning.
2 minutes remain, and that's our score differential
just
as
hold
well.
him to a field goal if we can. If we can just hold him to a field goal, give us a chance to go down the field and score, we can do this.
Second down and 22 yards to go.
Well, they're going to keep running it. I'm going to call a timeout.
And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively.
McPherson's got a pretty big leg, so I think if they don't move the ball 1 yard, they're still going to kick it.
We'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Trying to take this home, they'll run.
Are you serious? How did you let him? Oh my God!
Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 times.
3rd and 20, and they ran for the first down and got it.
One there after giving up the first down.
I can't believe this. I'm dumbfounded. 3rd and 20, and we let them run the ball for the first. Jeez. Now we got to spend the rest of our timeouts.
The Giants going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play.
Send everybody at him.
Inside handoff to Mixon. And he will maneuver his way.
Probably doing ourselves a disservice because
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim leg, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. And he will have a Bengals
did get the first down. This game is oh my goodness. 3rd and 20, and we let them get the first down on our run.
4, and that should just about seal the deal.
Okay. I just, it's too bitter. We're gonna see if we can try this again. I've never done this before. I've just taken the L's as they come. But that's just unacceptable. That's an unacceptable way to end the season. Yeah, we're trying this again. We're trying this again. I think I know the problem. And this time, I think it was just the uniforms that were bad luck. So we're just gonna stick with our regular old uniforms, and we're gonna try this again because I don't want to take an L right now. I really don't. Let's try it again. You may think this is stupid, but I want viewers to have some, confidence to end the season. I mean, you can call it forcing wins, you can call it whatever you want. That's what I'm doing. All right. We're going to skip over all of this and just get to playing football.
Tonight.
The rematch. Our defense was getting shredded on almost every single effing drive. And I barely had any offensive time with viewers. So, let's try this again.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Being chased out left.
Out of bounds for viewers.
And he is out of bounds inside the 30.
There we go.
8 yards
I completely forgot to check what the down was, but it was 3rd down, so nice job. Another 3rd down.
Still scoreless here in the first, but a 3rd down situation forthcoming. Let's get into the action. Flush to his right.
Hated doing that. I just had to do it. Let's kick the field goal and get the first points.
They'll try the field goal now with Graham Gano. From the left hash mark, this a 43-yard attempt. Gano's kick is good. And the Giants
field goal is up and good.
3-0 lead.
We are on defense.
Big early test for the defense coming up.
Their defense plays better this time. We were getting shredded on almost every single drive. But then again, maybe it's an indication that this defense is still a little bit ways away from getting better.
This goes out wide for
good tackle. There we go. Stick him where he stands. 4th and 1.
He's brought down short by a yard. It's a 3rd.
We're going for it. Here we go. Send the blitz at him. They're going to run the ball. They're going to run it.
Burrow going forward.
Or they're going to throw. And they, of course, got that first down easily.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have
risk sending the blitz, I know, but I did it anyway.
A red zone situation forthcoming as this defense will need to step up here. 1st and 10. Ball at the 19. In motion,
we got sacks the first go around when we needed it, but we just didn't get enough. Got another stop right there.
Be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Now it's Burrow.
Sack. Let's go. Nice job.
He's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw. Looking to throw.
Tipped away, incomplete, 4th down.
The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
And He banked it and he missed. Wow, okay, so this go around, things are looking a little bit better for us. Nice.
Second
drive,
quarter, this defense looking for a big third down stop here. They're already down on the scoreboard, just trying to get the ball back to their offense.
Saquon, there we go. First down run.
With Barkley.
Second 3.
A red zone alert as we get you back into the action. This offense coming up on a second down and 3 to go. A play action fake. They'll look to throw.
Samuel. Nice catch by Curtis Samuel inside the 5. Beautiful throw.
The Giants are looking at first and goal as he's tackled all the way down
fancy here. We're going to the fullback dive. Fullback dive. First touchdown of the game. Let's go.
For a giant TD. Alex Arma, his first rush.
10-0. Off to a little bit of a better start, and we're back on offense. But we're kind of backed up here.
To be efficient here with their time late in the second quarter.
We got a chance
They'll
to do a
come out
2-minute
throwing here on
so I
first
like this
down.
setup. Darius Slayton gets the first down for us.
And he's taken
Good start to the drive.
Across the 25-yard line.
Mesh.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it.
Samuel, there we go. Nice catch. Shakes the tackle, first down.
He'll
huddle again.
But able to slip across the 35. They're going to hurry back to the line now. They'll look to throw here on first
Waller,
down.
wide open. Our starting tight end makes a great play. Nice.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being
We got them on their heels on ice skates. And Samuel drops it, so slows the momentum, but that's fine.
Good coverage there, force the ball free, and it's second down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to
Waller.
throw.
Ooh!
His throw incomplete.
Should have lobbed
Well,
it.
it looked like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
Oh my goodness, that was so inaccurate, man.
Couldn't connect.
56
So coming
yards.
on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here.
And Gano is good. We're 13-0. Nice job. Beautiful.
And that will extend their lead even further.
So we at least got points out of it to end the half on a pretty high note. 7 here in the third quarter. We're starting to kind of pull away from the Bengals. We get a touchdown here. Be in great shape. Robinson breaks free. Ah, knocked away at the last minute. Couldn't get it. Yours has shown promise, but, you know, there's been some struggles in this game, too. But for a rookie in his first start, they were trying to evaluate for potentially next year. I expect the growing pains. We'll deal with it. We'll work through it. We get a field goal, more importantly, to extend our lead to 16-0. Things are going better for the second time around. It looks like our defense is playing better, too. You never know with the sim, but we're doing better defensively in this game. The Bengals were shredding us on, like, every drive. We had no resistance whatsoever on defense. And with the defense with Chase Young, I would expect more. They go for it on 4th down, and they don't get it. Bengals could be fighting for playoff spots, too. They lose this game, they may be in trouble.
So the situation, it's
third down and 1. We're a little RPO option.
Just trying to get the ball back to their offense.
Pass, got it to Curtis Samuel for the first. Nice job.
He'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
Stick.
Let's see if the defense is up to a tough task. Ball inside the red zone. 3rd down and 1.
Samuel on the slant, wide open for the first. Almost to the end zone, gets to the 2. Nice job.
A little surprise pays off on 3rd and 1. Pass instead of run. Gets him 15 yards. Back to throw again.
His first touchdown. Slayton. Ah, he's out of bounds. couldn't quite
Down
get it
this
to him.
close to the goal line, first down. Surprised that wasn't a run.
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball on first down in this situation because second down, that gives me an option of running play action. Maybe
Throw it away.
It.
All right, we'll try on third down.
Pylon and incomplete.
All right, Captain. It's batten down the hatches time defensively. Dodged 2 pass attempts to the end zone. Now what do you think they're going to try and dial up on third and goal?
Well, knowing them and knowing what we just seen, I think they're throwing it again, don't you?
Waller makes the catch. Touchdown, Giants. Ewers is throwing his first touchdown in New York. Nice job. Quick out route. Got it to Waller. Nice job. 23-0 in the fourth quarter.
Nothing to
Go
lose
for the
now.
shutout
This
if you
offense
can, guys.
forced to go for it. Down
Be a
a
big
bunch
confidence
here in the
boost.
fourth
I know
quarter.
that it's cheating by doing this game over again. I know, and I see those comments, but hey, this is what I wanted to do to give Ewers confidence going into next year. Because if Ewers is a rookie and he's only at a 673 overall, he can only get better from here, in my
They
opinion.
need to get the ball back to their offense. They have a chance to do that on third down.
Samuel. Oh,
Shot
that's
taken
right,
on
couldn't get
third
it.
down.
Should have just run it there. That's fine. Coach is letting us go for it on fourth down. Why not?
They'll look to throw here.
Tight end. Oh, I dropped it.
Incomplete.
Jeez.
They
Oh,
can
that's awful.
convert, and they turn it over.
The Bengals finally get on the scoreboard and they get a touchdown in 2, so they're only down 15 now.
A red zone alert.
But
Let's
we're
jump
marching back
here.
in the red
First and
zone.
10 at the 16.
First down.
They'll look to throw again.
Slayton.
And this nearly an interception, but it's
Ewers definitely still has a ways to
Well, a
go.
turnover really would have helped
His
him there,
accuracy
but not to
definitely
be.
is lacking.
Here's second
But
and
hey,
10.
I mean, he's only 73 overall. He's the same overall as Daniel Jones.
Again, he'll drop.
So I don't think the drop-off is too major.
Quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Back-to-back.
Coaches talk about it all the time. Players talk about it as well. Excellent job staying disciplined in coverage and making that stop. Inside the red zone, every stop like that could be preventing a possible touchdown.
Back to throw here.
Slayton.
Looking
Oh,
end zone, but it's incomplete.
We'll go for another
That's a
field
little
goal.
grabbing, a little hand fighting. By any means necessary on third down, he was able to get the job done in the secondary and swat that one away.
Gano's kick is good, and that will
Still
extend
up by,
their lead even further.
18 points. Bengals still have a long way to go. So I think we've got this game pretty much in the bag. It's just about giving confidence to Ewers at this point.
Nothing to lose.
Especially in his
now.
first
This
NFL
offense
start.
Forced to go for it. Down a bunch here in the fourth quarter. They'll try and throw forward with
Chance.
Burrow.
And we get an interception with Jackson. Nice. Let's go.
USC man Adoree Jackson.
Nice job.
Fourth
5.
quarter, and it's kind of getting to be desperation time here for this defensive side. They need to get the ball back to their offense. They have a chance to do that on third down. Out of the gun now on third down. And that is incomplete.
4th and 5, they're letting us go.
They'll run with Barkley.
Barkley didn't get
And he won't get
but
there.
it is what it is. This
They
game is
stop
over
him a
with.
few yards.
So playing
So
it the
a
second
victory
time
here for the
around,
men in blue,
acting
the
like it's
New
the
York
first time
Giants.
around
And
is
I think
okay
the
with
game
me for
balls
this
need to be
one.
distributed on the defensive side
Overall,
of the football.
you know,
and
with
I bet
Ewers,
that you would
we
agree.
got some
Yeah,
work
if
to
you
do,
hold the team under 10
obviously.
points,
But hey,
that's a
he
job
threw,
well done. Really
he
well
threw his
done.
first
So I would
touchdown
say
pass
game balls
to
for every
Darren
starter
Waller.
and every key player who
Saquon had a
participated in
decent
this
game.
Now, see, I only like one game ball.
You just like
You're
one
handing
game
out.
ball?
You're handing out multiple. Although I set you up by saying
Defense
game
did a
balls,
pretty good
plural,
job
but
in the
I
second
like
go
where
around.
we're going with this, though. You say
So
one,
overall,
represent
solid
the best
win to
player
end the
of all.
season.
Yeah.
I'm
And
gonna
I
look at
say
Ewers' final
multiple so
stats
that
from
you
this
keep
game
everyone motivated
and kind
and
of
involved.
You're a man of
give a
the
little
people.
I'm a man of the
evaluation of
people.
him, if you will.
I thought I was the only
Mostly
child.
because,
You get a game
like I
ball.
mentioned,
You get
he's
a
still
game
got a
ball.
ways to go.
Game balls for everybody.
So yeah, 76
Jets,
rating,
they get the
not
victory in
nothing
the
really
season
too
finale, but
spectacular.
it will still be a
267 yards,
sub-500 season
1
as
touchdown,
they
no
finish at
picks.
8-9.
I mean, that's
And by
pretty
just
big.
about
That
all
Ewers was able to
accounts,
get through the
not the
game
type of
scot-free.
year
He
they
didn't
were
throw a pick
hoping
in his
to
first
have.
game as an NFL starter,
Meanwhile,
as a rookie. So yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones, I know, he played the entire season. Final game of the regular season, he gets benched for the rookie to evaluate him. But hey, we weren't going to make the playoffs anyway. This was our last opportunity to play with Ewers in his rookie season. So I just wanted to see what he had. And based on the ratings, unless things drastically change with Daniel Jones as far as ratings for next season, because it looks like they might not, you know, the upside may be there with Ewers as opposed to Jones. And, you know, maybe because Jones is eating up so much of the cap, you know, he may be a trade target. But regardless, we finished the season 8-9, and unfortunately, because this division is so tight in terms of the race, that unfortunately was not enough for us to make the playoffs. So we not only not make the playoffs, but finish last in the division. So we're the only team that didn't go 10-7. We finished 8-9. And we're going to be sitting at home watching the playoffs from home. So let's go ahead and take a look at the playoff picture for year 2 of the rebuild. We were in there the first year, second year we're not there. Chiefs, Patriots, Ravens, Bengals, Bills, Steelers, Titans have the number 1 seed. We got the Rams and the Lions, so a rematch of the real-life matchup that happened this season. Eagles, Commanders, Falcons, Cowboys. So once again, 3 teams from the NFC East make the playoffs. So this division may be a pretty tight race for this rebuild. Unless the Cowboys, Commanders, and Eagles lose a bunch of players, which could very well happen. Lord knows we won't be able to do too many upgrades this offseason because of the salary cap kind of hell that we're in. We got a lot of money tied into, about 4 of our players. So that's really where we're kind of getting the cap eaten up. We're kind of like Dallas in real life, but it is what it is. And meanwhile, the Bears actually have the number 1 seed in the NFC. So something tells me that they did some major upgrades this offseason. Probably got, a running back or a defensive tackle because that's usually what they do in the first year of the rebuild when I go through these with Chicago. And, we'll just see. All right. So that's the playoff bracket. Let's go ahead and advance and see who wins it all. All right. First round of the playoffs. Chiefs beat the Patriots, Ravens beat the Bengals, and the Bills beat the Steelers. So business as usual, all the higher seeds win. NFC, though. Lions go on the road to the number 2 seeded Rams and upset them 48-42. Eagles beat the Commanders by 10, and the Cowboys go to Atlanta and beat the Falcons by 8. So, Bears, Lions, an NFC North matchup, and Eagles, Cowboys, an NFC East matchup. So 2 divisional matchups in the second round of the playoffs in the NFC. Titans, Bills, Chiefs, Ravens in the divisional round over in the AFC. Excuse me. All right. See who advances to the Final Four in year 2 of the rebuild. All right, Conference Championship week. Titans and the Chiefs. So the Titans beat the Bills and the Chiefs beat the Ravens. So business as usual in the AFC side. Bears beat the Lions and the Cowboys beat the Eagles on the road. So it's Cowboys-Bears in the NFC Championship. Titans, Chiefs in the AFC Championship. So for the first time since 1995, the Dallas Cowboys are in the NFC Championship game. How about that? All right, let's see what happens. Could it be another team from our division wins the Super Bowl in the second year as well? And, when is it going to be our turn? And it looks like that at the very least they're going to be in the Super Bowl. So it's Titans and Cowboys in the Super Bowl. They beat the Bears by 7, and the Titans beat the Chiefs by 12. So, all right. Cowboys-Titans in the Super Bowl. Probably a home Super Bowl for the Cowboys because in year 2 when I did the Titans rebuild, they played at Jerry World. So, yeah. Let's take a look at the Pro Bowl roster, see if any of our guys made it. Saquon made it, 96 overall running back. When you have somebody like that, kind of just build the offense around, if you had a young quarterback, do what you want to do with that. Derek Watt, who played with us last season, got picked up by another team, and he also made the Pro Bowl. So maybe we should have kept him. But whatever. Fullbacks don't get enough love in these games anyway. Anybody else on offense? Maybe a lineman? Chase Young didn't even make the Pro Bowl in his first year as a Giant. That's a little discouraging, I'm not going to lie. Spent all that money on him. So Saquon Barkley was our only representative in the Pro Bowl this year for the Giants, but hey, he's one of the best running backs in the league. Happy that he's going to represent us in the big All-Star game. It is getting pretty late, guys, so that's why I'm not going to do the off-season coming up. I'm going to take a look at retirements, though, and maybe just at the very end of the video kind of identify what we need to do and how much salary cap room we're going to have to really even do anything. Let's check out the yearly awards. Josh Allen is the MVP. Coach of the Year goes to Matt Eberflus of the Bears. How about that? All right, let's go to the NFC side. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Puka Nacua. Saquon came in third for NFC Offensive Player of the Year. All right, I'll be. Defensive Player of the Year. Nobody. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Drake May. Obviously, Quinn Ewers didn't even start during the season except for the last game, so he's not in the running for any of this. Defensive Rookie of the Year, no Giants. Best QB. Daniel Jones actually didn't finish in the top 10, so I'm not too upset about benching him now. Saquon finished second for best running back in the NFC. Good for him. Best receiver. Nobody here. Best offensive lineman. John Michael Schmitz Jr. Okay, our center finished 7th for best offensive lineman. Not bad. Best defensive lineman. Man, none of our linemen. Not even Chase Young. Best linebacker. Thibodeau. 9th. Okay. Best DB. Nobody. Best kicker. Graham Gano finished 2nd. All right. So Saquon was really the only player that was really even in the top 5 in terms of competing for any awards this year for the year. So, all right, good for him. So here we go. Let's get to Super Bowl week and let's see who wins between the Titans and the Cowboys. Looks like that the Titans won their first Super Bowl. They beat the Cowboys. First Super Bowl championship for them. And Patrick Queen is their MVP. So he left Baltimore and signed with the Titans in his year of free agency. MVP was Allen. Eberflus was the Coach of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year overall went to Puka Nacua. Max Crosby, again, Defensive Player of the Year. He always wins Defensive Player of the Year in these rebuilds lately. I don't know what's... He's playing on another level. Offensive Rookie of the Year overall went to Drake May, and T.J. Tumulio, linebacker, left end, finished with Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Vikings. Okay. Alrighty then. So let's go ahead and move on. I want to take a look. Let's upgrade players. Probably Saquon getting upgraded or somebody. Well, these are practice squad players, so let's go ahead and upgrade some of these guys. Go ahead and advance to next week. As far as negotiating with any players before they hit the open market, I'm going to take one more look to see if there's anybody that I want to think about bringing back before they hit the open market. Before we truly begin the full off season, before we dive into it. Let's take a look and see. So we have $8.3 million to spend. Not much at all, but let me take one more look. See if I want to invest in anybody. Here's the thing. Slayton may be an 80 overall, but he's really not interested in coming back because Curtis Samuel is now taking over as our new #1 receiver. We got a bunch of young guys, and we also drafted McMillian, out of Washington last season, so we're looking to bring him in. Tyquan Lewis. Yeah, I don't think really any of these guys I'm looking to bring back. We can probably get a better punter in the offseason anyway, so... Everybody's walking. We're letting everybody walk. But let's check out retirements and see if we had anybody retire from us. I'm not really expecting anybody to, but could be wrong. Well, we had a few. So A.J. Kane retired, so we wouldn't even had a chance to negotiate a new contract with him anyway. So he retired, but he was a stopgap player anyway. And Graham Gano retired. Okay, so we got to replace our kicker and our punter. And Justin Pugh also retired. So we got some holes to fill. But we may have to fill them cheaply through the draft. But I think we can get another kicker for a low price anyways. So I'm not too worried about trying to replace Gano. All right. And the thing is, with Pugh and Kane retiring, both of our left guards retired. So we're going to have to do some work at the guard spot in the offseason. But first things first, I want to take a look at this screen to see who's available. So I may just do the offseason and next season all at once. And we have $8.69 million to spend. And we're basically not going to be able to spend money in free agency. Except for low-tier guys. And by that I mean guys that we just need to fill in gaps. That's the best that we can do this offseason because we got so much money tied up in all of these players. Yeah, right now Daniel Jones is rated a bit higher, but yours is still at a 73. So yeah. Running back room is still pretty full, so we're good there. We do need another fullback once again. We'll go fullback by committee again. We could use another receiver to go along with Curtis Samuel, another guy in the 80s if we can get him. But Robinson has developed okay. I like him. I'm just kind of wondering if, maybe he is the guy, but I don't really know. Tight ends. We still have both of our tight ends here. We have no left guard, so we have to do replacement of that in the offseason. And we also lost our right guard as well. So we're going to have to do some adjustments there, but that's also why we drafted Spragans. But I think I want to get at least a bridge gap guy at right guard. So that way he's maybe rotated in. Left end, we're kind of, trying maybe to get somebody in the draft. That may be the first round that we go. Because we still have Chase Young here. Get somebody young to pair with him. Although we did draft Jordan Birch for a reason as well. So, yeah, we have Dexter Lawrence still here, Davidson, Jordan Jackson. Yeah, left outside linebacker. We decided to bring back Aziz because I don't really know how much better we can really do other than him. Okiri is still here. Thibodeau is developing pretty well up to an 83. So, Banks, Jackson. We got a lot of corners. A lot of these guys are practice squad players. So, maybe, you know what? Let's get ahead of the curve a little bit and let's cut some of these practice squad guys. I don't know how much money they'll save, but let's see. Okay, so that's going to save like less than $1 million. But let's cut some guys. Let's trim some of the fat, if you will, and get a bunch of these like random corners off our roster to free up some kind of room. It may not be much, but we got to create some amount of cap space to do just anything. Rashad Williams. Wait a minute. That's a Red Raider. All right, I'm not cutting him. I know. Soft spot. I'm a Texas Tech alum. Y'all knew that. I mentioned it a few times. So we're going to keep Williams. Castro Fields. He's a practice squad guy, more than likely. But getting rid of him saves some money. All right, he'll save 630K. All right. Safety, strong safeties. Got a lot of extra guys here. Evan Williams. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of you. Yeah, we need to get some kind of room here. And you know what? Can we cut Trey Dean and not get a penalty? Yeah, he's been with us for a while, but he really hasn't done too much since he's been here. And Belton's barely played. We might have to just cut Deion Jackson, a running back. Free up some room. 380K. That's not much, but it frees up a little bit of room. 3 running backs. About receivers. This guy Cornelius Johnson. You know what? Just because of receiver depth, I'm going to keep him. So yeah, we obviously got holes that need to be filled, but we're really just filling those specific holes. Left guard for sure, because we don't have any of them. And I think with center and right guard, we'll just get replacements for those guys in the draft. Left end. We're going to address that in the draft. And we're also going to address kicker and punter during the free agency period. You know what? I'm feeling pretty generous. I don't have to go to work tomorrow. I kind of got the brain flowing what I want to do this offseason, so I'm going to say screw it, and let's go ahead and do the offseason. Let's go ahead and get it done. All right, here we go. So, oh my gosh, Nick Chubb is available. All right, no. We got to get what we need to get. We need a left guard. Let's get somebody who's interested in coming here and also is a scheme fit guy. So Nick Allegretti, let's see if we can bring him in on a cheap one-year deal. Stopgap guy. That's all he is. And in the meantime, is there another left guard below him that we can look to bring in as well? Mason McCormick, Josh Sills. Yeah, we don't have a lot of guys there. Let's see if maybe there's a backup center we can get. These are just scheme fit guys. Okay, well, let's see about left ends. Well, Larry, one-year deal for him. He's got no other offers. Okay, so that's a little bit of a surprise. Although he's basically the same as Tyquan Lewis, but he fits our scheme and he's a left end and we need a left end. We don't have one, so we're doing another stopgap guy with him. Defensive tackle. Yeah, we're good there. We don't need that. Corner. Kicker. We need a kicker. Let's go out and get Harrison Butker. One of the best kickers in the league. Yeah, we need to replace our entire special teams. Well, now we have no money. No money. All right. Well, unfortunately, that's what we can do. So we've only targeted 3 guys, and that's it. So, all right. Well, let me take a look and see team salaries page. I just want to see if there's anything we can do to take away some of this stress. Chase Young, McKinley. These are the guys that are making the most money. These guys are getting paid a lot. Dexter Lawrence is making so much money. Savings. Tried to see if maybe there's a trade I could do, but I don't think that's possible. All right, well, I think this is it for free agency in terms of us. We're only doing 3 guys, and they're not high-end guys. We got Harrison Butker, we got Larry Ogunjobi, and Nick Allegretti, because we just need a left guard. So these are the guys that we're targeting. Everybody else, we're getting through the draft. Every other position that we need to fill or need depth at, we're going to get through the draft. That's what we're going to do. All right. Let's see if we were able to sign anybody. Hopefully we got everybody. Got everybody. Harrison Butker, we got Jonaby, and Nick Allegretti. Great. So we've got everybody that we signed, and we only have $370K left. Not much to do anything. And I really don't want to cut somebody. What? Let me take a look at something really quick. Daniel Jones. Cap. Roll over. Just the cap space. Reserve. Alright, well, you know what? This is risky, but I'm saying it now. We're going to take a risk with this, but Daniel Jones is on the block. Daniel Jones is on the block. He's actually rated lower than yours right now. The Bears actually really need a quarterback. So let's see who really needs a QB. The Broncos need one. And I'm just looking for picks. Straight up for a third-round pick. Would they take this? The trade would put the other team over the cap. Okay, all right, well. Okay, so we need to look for a team that has a quarterback need potentially, but also is not in salary cap hell, because some teams are, and there's not much that can be done. All right, well, the Colts have room, and they need a quarterback. So let's see about maybe getting a second-round pick from them. Let's see if they'll go that high. Trade decline. We don't feel it brings enough. Okay. I do think Daniel Jones is worth a second-round pick because we drafted him. The Giants drafted him in the first round. He was a top 5 pick. Falcons are in cap hell, so they can't do anything. The Jets. Oh, no, let's not trade him within the state. I don't want to do that. Patriots need a QB, it looks like. What about their second-round pick? Trade declined, okay. Rams need a QB as well. Okay. We just may not be able to get Jones for a second-rounder. Still declined. Okay, well, we'll just keep going with the second-round idea and see if anybody bites. If nobody bites, we'll lower it to a third-rounder to just work through that. Okay, so I'm trying to remember. Okay, the Colts were a team that has like the most amount of caps room, so I'm going to see if they'll do a third-rounder instead. This may be all we can get for him, but it is what it is. Decline. Unfortunately, we can't consider it offer. It'll put us over the cap. Wow, okay, all right. That's discouraging. So let's go. There was another team that was not over the cap. It was the Patriots. Okay, they might have extra cap room. Let's see about a third-rounder from them. Over the cap. Wait, I didn't mean to do that. All right, let me just see what it's looking like. Okay, trade value, best value sent to the Giants. Get us over the salary cap. Okay, all right. Cap hit 19 million. Okay. So they're interested, it would just put them over the cap. Okay. It's just a big contract. Do they have like a high, like a? Let me see. Let me check out who. Let me see about. Let me see what as far as the Rams, all their players. Is there somebody maybe who's eating up a lot of the cap that maybe we could take? Kevin Dotson maybe. Okay, so let's do Dotson and a pick. Declined. Doesn't bring enough value. All right, let's try maybe another of the players in terms of the Rams. I might need a right tackle. We do need a left guard. Steve Avila. Declined, okay. Barnes. Benson. See if maybe we can get Chris Barnes. Remember him from another rebuild. Declined. Okay, so we just need to probably offer a little bit more. Got a lot of defensive tackles. DJ Davidson, I don't know how much value this is going to add in much of anything. Probably won't. Still declined. Okay, I don't think Davidson's going to pique their interest at all, really. All right. I still think the Rams are the team that we could get something for. You know, what about maybe a corner? We could use another corner. Could use receiver help as well, but there's no way we're going to get, you know, maybe even Cup. Yeah, you know what? Let's... I don't think this will work. It's for your team over the salary cap if accepted. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way we're going to get somebody like that. Okay, but what about other receivers? They drafted Mario Williams. They're not going to trade him, though, because they just got him. Davis Allen, maybe just give us a backup tight end. Put us over the cap. Okay, so I think the Rams are out of it. It's going to be tough to get somebody to take Daniel Jones and his massive contract. Let's see about the Bears. We actually haven't engaged with them yet. Let's see. I'm not going to go for second-round picks for Daniel Jones because I don't think there's value in that. It'll put us over the cap. Okay, all right. Well, let's see if maybe we can get somebody from the Bears to take some of the load off of them, but I don't know. Let's see about maybe their receiver, maybe one of their young receivers. Mooney. I don't know. Declined. Probably doesn't add value. What's the guy below him? Tyler Scott. And just give us maybe like Tyler Scott as a backup receiver. Still declined. Put us over the cap. Okay, so it's the cap. It's always the cap with everybody. Let's try the Colts again. We're still going to add a pick, but we're also going to see if we can get somebody decent from their team, maybe. I don't know. Jalen Jones, some random corner I don't know anything about. Trade decline brings enough value to what has to be given up. Okay, so let's go with, I hate to do this, but we're just going to have to probably go with a 4th round pick. Okay, over the salary cap. Okay, oh my gosh. So, I mean, it actually looks like as far as cap room, we have a little bit more than I suspected, so. Yeah. Okay, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and get through the draft, and maybe we could try to trade Daniel Jones again. So, I'm going to go ahead and advance through the rest of free agency. And let's see about getting through the draft and just sticking to the regular plan, getting our replacements through that, and then revisiting trading Daniel Jones. We'll do that. I mean, Daniel is now kind of in a way our second string quarterback, and we don't really need him anymore because he's getting rated lower than Ewers, and I think Ewers is the future. And I think just it's because of the upside. That's kind of what my gut instinct tells me. It could be wrong. It could be a bad idea, but it's going to be hard to dump Daniel Jones' massive contract on somebody else. So we were worse this year, so we'll have a higher pick. Mykel Williams, I think, could be a solid player that we take. I've taken him in other rebuilds too. But as far as defensive tackles, we're pretty good because Dexter Lawrence is the main guy. We'd just be drafting somebody to kind of go alongside of him. I feel like that as far as guys that are kind of just available around here, maybe Emory Jones, a right guard, because we need some offensive line help, or maybe Elijah Gregory would actually probably be better options. We do need help at receiver too. We could go with one of those receivers that's kind of lower here, maybe somebody like an Evan Stewart. He fits our scheme, so that would actually be pretty encouraging. We can go with a safety. Some of these safeties are looking pretty solid. Or maybe if White drops, or maybe if Campbell drops, we get some defensive end help because we need a little bit of help there, even though we did address that in the offseason. Or a corner. With this draft, I'm just going to take it as, best player available. Maybe even if it's Mykel Williams, we'll go with him. Just taking whoever we can, at least for the first round, but we need to address certain positions of need. Yeah. So let's get to the draft and see what we can do. Start the draft.
It's the Bucks now on the clock.
All right. Here we go. Cade's still on the board. You know what? I want to get somebody that, fits the scheme, but also can be a playmaker for us. We're going to go with Evan Stewart of Texas A&M. We're gonna get a solid player in here who fits the scheme in terms of receiver, somebody else to really go on the opposite side of Curtis Samuel, along with the other young receiver out of Washington we drafted last year, and get this receiving core younger and get it up to speed. Literally. Going with Evan Stewart, I think is pretty solid for our first-round pick. More of these receivers are looking pretty solid, but, you know, not exactly tickling the excitement meter, if you know what I mean. We really need guard help, but none of these guys are really rated very highly, so we're going to take this corner, Toriano Pride. I don't know much about him. What a weird name. But we're going to take him. Welcome to the Giants.
The Giants.
Earl Landry, I've seen you too many times. But I'm going to go with Brian Douglas out of Ohio State, right guard. We need offensive line depth. I think Ryan Douglas is looking pretty solid right there. Or Brian Douglas. I said Ryan by
on
accident.
The clock, it's the 49ers.
All right. Here we are in the 4th round. A lot of corners. But you know what? Nick Beatty is looking pretty solid. Left tackle out of Georgia. I know we don't really need a left tackle, but I feel like we need to get some depth on the offensive line because we're kind of doing one-year rental guys from now on for the most part. So I think getting Nick Beatty will help in terms of depth on that. This defensive end, Alex Green, looks pretty solid out of Alabama. Let's go with him. Yeah, we're going with him.
The New York Giants on the clock.
All right, 6th round selection. Max Duval continues to drop, but we don't really need corner help. You know, this running back, Jalen Glover out of Utah, is looking pretty solid. Let's go with him. I don't think he's a real player, but could be worth to get a solid running back behind Saquon. Because we have a bunch of guys that are just guys, you know, so maybe getting Glover, a solid guy that we actually drafted running back, could help out a little bit.
The Giants.
All right, let's see here. Now let's get some linebacker help in here. Was there any linebackers that were up here that were actually they're actually rated decently? DeMarcus McCoy out of Alabama looks pretty solid. So we're taking another Alabama Crimson Tide player. Let's go ahead with him. I don't think he's real, but we'll take him. Get some linebacker help. And that's it for the draft. Evan Stewart, really, as our first-round pick, I think is solid, especially considering that, you know, we need to get some help at receiver because we didn't bring back Darius Slayton and we couldn't do anything in free agency due to the salary cap hell that we're in. Pride, corner, solid depth. Brian Douglas, we need offensive line depth. We did that with Beatty and Douglas. We took Alex Green left end because we need help there. We took Jalen Glover halfback and DeMarcus McCoy middle linebacker. That's our draft. So let's go ahead and take a look at the roster. I'm going to do a little bit of adjusting potentially based on positions that we might not have been able to completely fill in terms of depth behind those starters that we have. So as of right now, Daniel Jones is still on the team. Saquon, Jalen Glover. I don't think he's real, but let me just double check. Jalen Glover. He is real. Okay. Number 1. All right. But you know what? That defensive end or defensive tackle. Birch. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of a number switcheroo here, but I can't just do that flat up. So we're going to do that. So Birch originally wore 6 in college. So I'm going to take number 1 off of him so I can give that to Glover. And he can take the number that Glover is wearing, number 6, and Birch can wear that. Wear his old number from college. Or one of his old numbers, I think. Because he had like 2 different ones based on pictures that I saw from him that I did in the last video. So it's Glover, he's going to wear number 1. Surprised he's a real player out of Alabama, out of Utah. Backup running back. But hey, you know, we could use depth behind Saquon, so go ahead and do it. Time to get a new wave of young kids in here. Kind of starting to get into more of an actual rebuilding phase now. You know, Chase Young was the big one, even though he's young, worth it. Hopefully he plays better in his second season with us because he didn't really do... It looks like he didn't really do too hot in the first year that he was a member of this team. I know he's not a scheme fit guy, so that might hurt it a little bit, but still, I think he's worth it. We got 4 running backs. We still need to go get a fullback. So Stewart is actually the 3rd best receiver we have, but behind Robinson and Samuel, it's pretty solid. Evan Stewart. Let's see what his number was. I forgot what his number was at A&M. He wore, looks like he wore number 1 as well. Okay, well, we're going by, you know, better player that we took. So, you know what, we're going to give Glover another number, maybe in the regular running back range. Going to have him wear number 23. Stewart is going to wear number 1. All right. Evan Stewart rocking number 1. Nick Beatty, I don't think he's real. Oops. It's all right. Yeah, he's not a real player, so he can wear 74. Definitely provides some depth, but we have to change some of these guys' positions because... So we drafted Brian Douglas, and I don't think he's real. Yeah, he's not a real player. But he has quickly already become our new starting right guard. I want to see if maybe I can move. See if I can maybe move one of these guys to guard. These guys are both really, really tall, so I don't know if guard would be the best thing for a guy like Beatty, especially as a rookie coming in here. But let's move him to left guard and just see kind of what that does to his overall. He's a very tall guy, so I don't think putting him at guard would be the best idea. But yeah, well, he's still at 66. All right, we don't have a backup center. We only have 1 center, so maybe we can get somebody on the cheap to start the year, but I don't know. And Alex Green, you can't wear 92. That number is retired to Michael Strahan, so we're going to give you probably just some random number. I don't know what number, but let's see. He can rock 94. He's going to wear 94. And DeMarcus McCoy. Jackson, of course, still here. Okay, I think this guy is real. Let's see. Toriano. Pride. Oh, Pride Jr. Okay, Clemson. Okay, he wore 23, so we got to go and change once again the number for our other running back. Glover, we got to change your number. We got to give Pride his number. It's like, what about my number? It's like, yeah, well, you know, you're a rookie. You get what you get. All right, he's rocking 31. We're going to give him 31. But, you know, he's our new backup running back, so do that. So with bringing in Pride, I think that's really going to help, you know, with our corner depth because, you know, we can't address that in free agency, so we have to do it through the draft, which is what we've done. And we had to cut a bunch of those random practice squad guys just to make some kind of room to do anything in the offseason. And by that, I mean just get, like, whatever we can get. So one position that we still have not addressed is our punter. So we need to do that. So I'm actually going to adjust Butker. So there was a right outside linebacker. No, it wasn't Jacobs. I don't know which linebacker it was, but there was a linebacker that was wearing, I think, number 7. So let's change that. McCoy, no. Aaron Mosby. Okay, I don't really know who this is. I think he's just a random player, too. So yeah, we're not going to cut him. We're just going to change his number to something that's, like, random in the 40s or 50s. I don't know. He's literally wearing 40. So that way Butker can wear number 7 like he did in Kansas City. He's not wearing 0. Maybe somebody else wears 0. I don't know. All right, Butker is all set. But the position that we still need to address is the punter. We don't have a punter. We're just going to have to get a punter and a fullback in the quick, brief period after the draft free agency just to fill gaps, if we even can, because right now, because we don't have a whole lot of money to spend at all, if any, we're going to be pretty limited. But we'll see what we can do. All right. Let's see if we can even sign anybody. We need a punter. We need a fullback. All right. Corey Bajorquez. I don't know if that's how you pronounce him. Pronounce his name. All right, so we were able to sign him. So we got our punter. I can make do without having a real actual fullback, but we'll try to do it anyway. Andrew Beck. Can we sign him? Yeah, it'll put us over the cap. All right. Well, I think that just have to be the way it is. We're going to go without a fullback this season, which is probably not the best idea, but you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to go ahead and do it. I do want to adjust the roster really quick because having our punter wearing number 28 just looks weird, in my opinion at least. Oh, okay, so he's wearing 16. Okay, well that's a decent punter's number. All right. So before I end this, I want to see if maybe now that maybe teams have had a chance to adjust, if maybe we can try to trade Daniel Jones again. With no cap room at all. But let's see if other teams have cap room. So, so we are going to be adding Daniel Jones to the block. Let's see if now we can get a pick from a team that needs a quarterback. Accepted. He's a Bear. And that is it. And now we have $20.2 million in cap room. Nice. Daniel Jones' era is over in New York. It is Quinn Ewers. It's Ewers time. And being able to get rid of Daniel Jones freed up a bunch of, cap room that now we can use to do more stuff, because Ewers is going to be taking over as our quarterback this season. We're going fully in the direction of him, and onward and upward. We're going with him. Because Daniel Jones right now, in my opinion, has hit the backup quarterback era of his career, and that's all he's going to be. I feel like that's the level that he's gotten at, because in the 2 years, he hasn't progressed at all, and we got a young guy in Ewers who we drafted in the first round. There's more upside there. So let's go ahead and sign Andrew Beck now as our starting fullback, so that way we can fill that position properly. And now let's take a look and see if there's other free agents who can help us out now that we have some extra cap room. So I'm actually going to bring in Braxton Berrios. I was thinking about bringing him in during the first free agency period that we have, just mainly to get some help at receiver that we need. And we don't even have a third tight end, so I'm going to go get a third tight end. Let's bring in Josh Oliver as a backup tight end. All right, and now with the Daniel Jones trade being done, we can actually make some moves. Not a lot, but we can do some. All right, we need a backup center. We don't have a backup center. All right, well, centers aren't really meant to be like scheme fit guys anyway. So I'm going to bring in John Feliciano. I feel like he was a Giant at one point of his career. I could be wrong, but I feel like he was. I don't know that for sure, but anyway. Okay, so I think that's all the adjustments that I'm going to make with the free agency moves. Now that the Daniel Jones trade is done, finished, and now we can move on. Okay, so let me take a look at our roster now and see if now, due to the fact that the Daniel Jones trade is done, if there's any other positions that I want to fill with some others. Okay, we actually might need to sign a third quarterback to help us out a little bit. All right, we took care of our fullback situation. I picked up Braxton Berrios to provide some extra receiver help. You know what? Let's actually change him to maybe like number 0. Change him up a little bit. He played for the Jets for a little bit, so now he's with the Giants. Actually, you know what? He wore number 8 in Miami, so he's getting Daniel Jones' old number. Braxton Berrios is going to rock number 8. I don't really know if it was necessarily worth bringing him in, but, Evan Stewart now, we're kind of revamping the receiving core a little bit. And Josh Oliver now is our backup tight end in front of Bellinger, so that's going to help that position a little bit. Offensive line, we've taken steps back, being at a 68 now. Right guard is taking a step back with 71, but I'm going to trust the rookie Brian Douglas. Hopefully he'll develop by getting all of these starts to his name and be able to progress quickly. Hopefully. We'll see. Defensive tackle still looking okay. Linebacker still looking okay. Bobby. Wait, is Bobby the only middle linebacker we have? No, he isn't. Okay, we do have another guy. All right, corners. I don't think we need to adjust anything here or get extra guys. No extra guys needed there. We got our punter situation sorted away. Oh yeah, third quarterback. Let's go out and get a third quarterback, just to get some help there. Because we traded away, the guy that was our starter last year. So now let's get another quarterback to help us out. obviously nobody's really significant, really. So let's get a scheme fit guy. All the scheme fit guys are pretty bad. None of them are here. All right, in that case, let's go ahead and go back to the top of the list and just pick one of the best guys available on the market in terms of backup quarterbacks. All right, we're going to bring in Jimmy G. Cool. All right. Got Jimmy Garoppolo in here as our third string quarterback. He'll be basically our second stringer based on his overall. But, God forbid something happens to yours. We need that veteran presence in there, even though we've moved on from Daniel Jones. But having at least a veteran presence as a backup in Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, is beneficial. So we'll do that. And we'll keep him rocking number 9 because somebody else is also, I think, wearing number 10. So Garoppolo will rock number 9 this season. All right, and that'll do it. Big trade with Daniel Jones. That was the biggest part. Hopefully next season with yours as the starter, he'll develop a little bit better. Hopefully he learned a decent amount of stuff sitting behind yours, but we'll see what happens. Thank you for tuning in to this late live stream, and I will see you guys next week for part 3 of the New York Giants rebuild.